A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I mean, it's happening now, and it's as close as your podcast provider, so.
Two queer, trans, non binary podcast co hosts set out to cover the most amazing franchise of all time.
I mean, is it the most amazing, though? We've already covered so many great ones, like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Twilight, Ghostbusters.
First off, Twilight was not amazing, even
Fair.
if our episodes about it were. Secondly, Star Wars is the most amazing because it has droids and Leia and sci-fi and action and R2D2 and BB-8
Okay,
and
okay. It's up there. I'll give that to you. That's not for debate. But we're not just covering Star Wars this season. We're also covering the Alien franchise, which is also amazing because it has Ripley and sci-fi and aliens and horror and
details. I'm Pastor Emily, and I am the droid in the background. Never noticed, never wiped of memory, always watching.
that's a little creepy. And I'm Pace Warfield, and I am the awesome yellow loading machine that Ripley uses in the Alien franchise to beat up things.
Totally. And we're the hosts of Horror Nerds at Church, a ridiculously queer podcast with a horror Padawan.
And a horror nerd buff, all the things. Horror master.
There we go.
Each season, we follow a horror franchise or horror adjacent and a host of other horror and horror adjacent movies to talk about how they connect to queerness, religion, and theology.
We feature bona fide scary movies like Halloween, The Witch, Candyman, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Suspiria.
But we've also covered non-scary movies or low stakes horror movies like Ghostbusters, The Addams Family, Doctor Strange, Hocus Pocus.
Our upcoming season, we are covering a galaxy far, far away by looking at the Star Wars and Alien franchises from queer, religious, and horror perspectives.
Tune in this season because we talk about whether or not all droids go to heaven,
They absolutely do.
whether the Jedi are cops or religious movement,
They're both.
and whether or not Han Solo shot first.
He definitely did. We also dive into the Trinitarian aspects of all things Force, look at the false binary of light and darkness, especially as it relates to the Force, examine Star Wars from a horror perspective, and interview amazing guests like Claudia Gray, author of many Star Wars novels, horror author Ben Monroe, who interned at Lucasfilms, and many more.
And for you true blue horror fans like me, don't worry, we're also covering the Alien franchise and looking at how that franchise might be one of the greatest slasher franchises of all time. The weird and convoluted theology of the movie Prometheus, and how much of an amazing character Ripley is.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you catch your podcasts.